like me, but my heart is bursting with gratitude and enthusiasm. I just want to go out and talk about dōTERRA with more people. Am I right? I'm very excited to talk to you today about the topic that was given to me is surfing your own wave in dōTERRA. How to create massive momentum in your dōTERRA business. Now, to give you a little bit of context, our story to Presidential Diamond is never the story that you're going to share with someone to recruit them into dōTERRA as a business, okay? We weren't super fast to reach Presidential Diamond. We didn't do it in record time. And we had lots and lots of struggles along the way. Our story is a story that I hope will resonate with those of you today who might feel stuck, or you might feel like you're not growing at the pace that you would like to, or that you could, right? You feel this desire inside yourself to achieve. One of the analogies that I like to give, and I guess for you to understand where our business is at today, we feel so grateful to have a team now that as of last month, we crossed 190 diamonds on our team. Okay? Amazing. In the last 2 months, we've had 35,000 new customers join our team. Okay? So that's a lot of momentum, it's a lot of growth. Now I've learned that in our dōTERRA business, your ego is not your amigo, right? All of your success in this business is because you started, and so you should have a lot of confidence because of the results that you've built, but also you should have absolutely no ego, because 0% of the success that you have is only because of you, right? Or at least a very small percentage of success. And so you should approach your dōTERRA business always with a lot of confidence that you have built what you've built, but also with a lot of humility, that it's because it's a movement of a lot of people, right? dōTERRA is a lot more about helping a lot of people to do a little bit of effort to change the world than it is helping a few people do a lot of effort, right? So we want a lot of people doing a little bit, and we want people working hard as well. But I like to share a story with the example of Chinese bamboo, right? And you look at these big stalks of bamboo on the screen, and you see they're super tall and high. But the farmer, when he grows his bamboo, there we go. In the first year, he plants it. I know the field doesn't look like this, but he plants his seeds, right? He plants the bamboo, and he waits, and he takes care, he nurtures the ground, he makes sure it has plenty of water, nutrition. But in the first year, there's no physical evidence. Nothing comes out of the ground showing that farmer that there's going to be a crop, okay? In the second year, still there's no physical proof that he's going to have a yield from his crop. Can you imagine working for 2 years, taking care of the land and thinking, oh, is it gonna grow, right? The third year, nothing. 4 years in, there's still no physical evidence that there's going to be a harvest. Can you imagine that? This is a little bit of how it felt for me in our dōTERRA business, okay? We worked really, really hard. I'll share with you some of kind of what it looked like. But what happens in the 5th year is that bamboo shoots up and it grows 25 meters in 6 weeks. Wow. Now, some people come to dōTERRA and they come already personally developed, as we like to say, right? Maybe they come in and they have more contacts, they have more credibility, maybe they have more influence, be it online or in person. And others of us, we grow inside of dōTERRA. And that's really how our story was. And so in our first month in dōTERRA, we did work really hard, my wife and I have to give her all of the credit because it's because of her that we're here today. But in the first month, we hit the rank of elite, okay? Elite, for those of you who maybe are new to our business, is an average earnings of maybe a couple $100 or euros per month, okay? And we thought, wow, we saw the little chart of the average earnings and we thought it must be one rank every single month, right? Elite, Premier, Silver. And so we set a goal. We said we want to be Diamond in 1 year. And we started to work very, very hard. In our second month as elites, we quit our jobs. And we said, we're gonna do this full time. We were college students and working dōTERRA full time. In our 3rd month, guess what rank we achieved? Elite. Some of you already know our story. In our 4th month, we worked really, really hard, and finally we hit elite. Okay? 5th month, elite. 6th month, elite. We are full time building dōTERRA. Okay? With all of our energy. 7 months. I don't know if you should be clapping right now. 7 months in, elite. 8 months, elite. 9 months, elite. 10 months, elite. Okay, look, this is what it looked like. Oh, I was supposed to click through this one at a time. There we go. So, 10 months of elite. And again, even though we were not seeing the success, we actually made a lot of sacrifices during this phase. During this first 10 months, we heard that Hong Kong was opening as a market. My wife speaks Mandarin Chinese, and so we thought, hey, let's go work in Hong Kong. And so we moved to Hong Kong for 6 months. We were able to sign up about 50 people during those 6 months, so we thought, wow, we're doing pretty good, but we were still just hitting elite. We didn't have anybody who was building the business with us, right? We hadn't yet, we didn't have that strong belief in the dōTERRA business yet to duplicate and help other people build. And I love this image of Michael Phelps, okay? Michael Phelps is the human who's won more Olympic medals than any human in history, right? He's an amazing athlete. And if you look at where he's focused as he's swimming, he is focused straight ahead. We lost our picture. There we go. He's focused straight ahead. The person next to him, where is he looking? He's looking at Michael, right? I learned in our first 10 months that comparison is the thief of joy, right? It will steal your energy and it will steal your enthusiasm to keep building your business. There was someone who joined dōTERRA after us, and while we were elite, they went from 0 to blue diamond, okay? Does anybody know Haley Hobson? Right? So we watched her go from 0 to blue diamond, we're elite. Like elite, elite, elite. And we were like, man, is there something wrong with us, right? But what happened is our roots were growing deep. We were personally developing during that phase. And so, comparison is the thief of joy. It also creates a false lid. Sometimes we look at people and we think, oh, who's the fastest person to achieve a certain rank or a certain level of success in dōTERRA? That's a lid. All limitations are only in your mind. They're false. They don't exist. We have now had 10 people on our team achieve diamond in their first month. Okay? So imagine us 10 months as elite. We just decided to stay in the boat and keep rowing as hard as we could. And eventually we started to attract people that were much better than us. So this is what our journey looked like for those first 5 years. Remember, our goal was to be diamond in 1 year, okay? 1 year in, we were platinum, or we were premier. We spent 4 months after those 10 months of elite, we spent 4 months at premier, then we skipped silver and hit gold, and then the very next month we hit platinum. Then we stayed plateaued at platinum for 4 years. Do we have anybody who's been a rank here for maybe 3 years, 4 years? And you're wondering, like, is this ever going to work? Am I ever going to become a diamond? That's our story. I hated those 4 years, right? I love those 4 years now because our story has brought hope and it's helped so many people to stay in the boat and keep rowing as hard as they can until their time comes. Now, this is actually a graph of our primary bonus from 0, and elite is actually a few more that way because it was 0 for several months, right? But all the way to diamond. And you can see there were ups and downs, but because of the stability of dōTERRA, when you build your business focused on customer acquisition and retention, our income was actually pretty stable, right? Now, I subscribe to this philosophy of constant and never-ending improvement. A constant, a seeking to always grow. And this is what kept us moving forward. It wasn't that we had great builders joining. It wasn't that we had absolute, concrete assurances that things were going to work out. We just believed that if we kept building ourselves one day at a time, that eventually we would become the people capable of achieving success in dōTERRA. Now, a lot of people ask me, what made the difference? Like, what was the change? What did you do differently to get to Diamond, for example, after 4 years of being platinum? Do you want to know the secret? What we did? Yeah. Not very much changed, actually. It was that process of us improving. And how many of you have heard the story of the chickens versus the eagles? During those 4 years that we were at Platinum, we were very focused on helping people on our team succeed. Our personal enrollments started to go down, but our activity level did not decrease. We were out doing classes constantly, teaching people about the benefits of essential oils. But we wanted success for our leaders more than they wanted it for themselves. And so we compare this to taking a chicken, grabbing a chicken, and saying, fly, right? Fly. And we had like 5 chickens, right? So it was like, fly, 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 fly. And they kept falling down. They kept falling down. And we kept lifting them up. And we were so focused on these same 5 chickens, right? And after 4 years of Platinum, you just get mad. And you're like, no, I never want my result to be dependent on another person, right? And so we started looking for more people. We went into massive personal production. And in our 4th year of dōTERRA, we signed up 150 new customers in that year, after already being in dōTERRA for 4 years. And guess what happened? We lifted up a chicken, we threw it up, and we realized it was an eagle. And boom, they took off. And as we started to enroll more people, we started to find the people. Now, there's not chickens and eagles. Don't get this confused. There are people that are willing to do the work to be an eagle, and there are people who are not willing to do the work, right? And so part of our success was just getting back into massive personal production. If you're someone here today and you're plateaued at a certain level of success, I would encourage you to get back in the trenches of your personal building. If you're spending all of your time supporting your leaders, maybe they need some time on the ground without you throwing them up in the air for them to decide that they want to fly, right? Go work with new people. So, I was asked to talk about surfing your own wave in dōTERRA. Sometimes people think that building a dōTERRA business looks like this, okay? Doesn't this look fun? Look at this guy.
That's me.
Doesn't that look amazing? I don't surf, but I would love to be able to do that. Okay, so we think, man, dōTERRA is just this wave. We've just got to be on the wave. This is actually not what building a dōTERRA business looks like. Okay? This is what building a dōTERRA business looks like. Watch this, gentlemen. We don't ride waves. We make waves. Okay? Watch this. Look at all that effort. Look at all that commitment. He's creating his waves. Doesn't that look fun? So, building momentum in your dōTERRA business is actually very simple. Okay? And look, eventually he retires and the waves just keep going. But even if he stops, what's going to happen with those waves? They're going to slow down. Now I want you to imagine that we are all in a big pool together. I've done this with friends when I was young. And if one person is in the middle and they start to put in that personal activity, they start to jump up and down, they will create some waves. And it's possible that a few will catch their wave, right? They'll be influenced by that wave, and eventually everyone in the pool will start to jump. So you have to be the primary person in activity mode in your business. A lot of times creating momentum is you finding a brand new person. Let's say you've been at the rank of silver for 2 years. All you need to do to wake up your existing team is to find a brand new person and help them hit silver. A higher result than anybody else in your team. And it's going to remove the lid of their belief, right? When they feel the waves, and sometimes you actually need to isolate them, right? Like when we were platinum for 4 years and we had some new builders joining, we said, we are not putting them in our Facebook group. It's dead. Like that energy is just, there's not movement there. And so we isolated them and we honed in 100% on those new people, and we started to create waves. Now that ended up influencing the others for them to start increasing their activity as well. So the lesson is, you really do not surf a wave in your dōTERRA business. If you want to create massive momentum, you create the wave. I love the latest talk this morning about creation, right? We are God's highest form of creation. And as such, He has endowed us with the ability to create. What a beautiful concept. As you increase your personal activity, that is what is going to help you to achieve the level of success that you want in your dōTERRA business. And you might wake up after 10 years in this business, and today I feel like our business is a tsunami that's drowning me. I can't keep up with the demand and the needs of all of the people who are joining. And thank goodness we have amazing leaders who we've created a culture of independence where they are able to, they're out there jumping themselves and creating their own waves. So I hope that my story, me and my wife Shantae, I hope that our story in dōTERRA will bring some hope to those of you who are not growing at the rate that you'd like to grow. Sometimes we have the tendency to recognize the superstars, right? To recognize those who achieved records, and we're the loudest about promoting those who are doing big things. And that can actually be discouraging. One of the things I would counsel you to do as a leader, find the stories of people on your team who went for 3 years without any success, and then they enrolled their first person. And throw a party for that person, like make it a huge deal that they achieved success. Because that will bring hope. Again, our job, if we want to create this massive result, it's about a lot of people putting in a little bit of effort, and we can change the world. I hope that our story has brought hope to some of you who feel stuck. I hope that it wakes you up, that it can be a wake-up call that you need to get back into personal production. You need to go back to the number of personal enrollments that you did at the very beginning of your business. And if you do that, you're going to see amazing things happen for you and those around you. I look at the impact, the number of people that we've brought out of poverty using dōTERRA, the number of people, the testimonials that pour in. And I remember after our first year, I turned to my wife and I said, Shantae, if we didn't make a dime from building dōTERRA, we were premier, right, at the time. I said, even if we don't make a dime from building this business in profit, I will do this for the rest of my life. Because there's financial revenue, but there's also emotional revenue. And the emotional revenue in the beginning of your business is what will keep you moving forward. Those testimonials, and I'll tell you, the emotional revenue will always, always, always be far greater than the financial revenue that you'll experience in dōTERRA. It's worth it. It's worth it. Now, to close out this day, I know there's maybe a couple more people coming on the stage, but together I want all of us to stand up, and as I walk off the stage, I want you to give the biggest applause you can to these individuals the dōTERRA team that's created this amazing wellness movement that we have